Warning, this video will contain spoilers. Obviously. I mean, it's a review video, why wouldn't it contain Okay, I'm done. Hello everybody, you found Nintoonist here with my first ever game review. Today I'll be reviewing the latest game for the Wii U, Star Fox Zero, the first Star Fox game in over 10 years. Is it the game that we've been waiting for, hoping for, praying for, begging for? Is it the Star Fox game we have all been wanting since the travesty of Star Fox Command? Hey, whoa, stop it! Hey, you stop it, relax, people! Hey, I will call them, stop it! Hey, cease! Bunch of rabble-rousers? Yeah, this game has garnered pretty mixed reviews, which is in part why I made the video, so I could tell you, don't listen to the bad reviews. I say this because if you read any negative reviews of this game, you will find that most, if not all of them, are saying that the game is bad because of the controls. And I will give them the benefit of the doubt in that the controls are not perfect and they can be kinda hard at times. Not to mention the fact that motion controls are used. God, why does Nintendo still do this? But the controls in no way ruin the game like these reviewers are saying. After the first level, I was effectively used to the controls, and if standard video game rules apply here, and I think they do, as they have for the past 35 years, the first level is where we learn what shit to push and when. I mean that. Seriously, the controls were not that hard, and the best part is that in the later levels, you really don't even need to use the motion controls. They're really like only required for very few and very brief portions of the game. Heck, the game even opens up immediately with a brief and easy controls tutorial because Nintendo knew that the controls might be tricky for some players, and it so smoothly and quickly explains the game's controls and gets you introduced to them pretty fast and effectively. So basically what these negative reviewers are saying is that the game has a learning curve, like most video games, and that you have to actually learn the controls and adapt to them, and that somehow makes the game bad, when in actuality they just have an unwillingness to learn. So to those reviewers, I humbly say, stop bitching and get good. You can quote me on that, by the way. Because Star Fox Zero was a fabulous game. It was fun, it was thrilling, it was action-packed, the dialogue made for some great immersion levels, and to top it off, the game was visually stunning and was gorgeous to look at. Just flying over Corneria brought a tear to my eye to look at how far Nintendo has come. I would certainly rank this among my favorite games on the Wii U, and definitely one of the better Star Fox games, for sure. And this is probably because the game follows the traditional Star Fox format, receiving orders from General Pepper and then hopping in an R-Wing or a Landmaster, and then rail shooting your way to victory. Despite this level of traditionalism throughout, this by no means implies that the game fails to innovate. There are levels and sections where you control and gain the ability to transform from an R-Wing into what I can only describe as a robot chocobo. And despite the robot chocobo sections not being as fun to control as the R-Wing, I still thoroughly enjoyed them. Then you have the Gyro Wing, which is a two-winged drone-looking machine used for stealth missions. You can also use the Gyro Wing to hatch out a little blue rob that allows you to hack into things to either shut them down or control them. Fair warning though, hackable items may or may not include a giant robot gorilla. These new factors lead me to my next point, and it's one of the main reasons I even wanted to make this video. Some people are saying that Star Fox Zero is too much like Star Fox 64, and the game does make some homages to Star Fox 64, but I only know those references because they're virtually memes at this point. You know, like, do a barrel roll and try a somersault and use the boost to get through. Like, these are all pretty famous quotes for an avid Nintendo fan such as myself. Because here we go. Woo, boy. Contradictory to the avid Nintendo fan statement I have just made, I have never played Star Fox 64. Please don't kill me. I didn't own a Nintendo 64 growing up. My first console was the GameCube, so I never really got a chance to play it, at least not to completion. The point is, because of me never playing the game, I myself unfortunately cannot judge if this game is too much like Star Fox 64, but even if it is heavily based off of Star Fox 64, is this truly a bad thing? Look at it this way. Here we have a new Star Fox game, one that many a gamer has been waiting for over a decade. Wouldn't you want it to have elements of the best Star Fox game? Wouldn't you rather than make a Star Fox game like this? Rather than this? Wouldn't you want the best elements of the series in the game rather than what could potentially be a completely failed innovation on Nintendo's part? And don't take this the wrong way, I'm not saying that I don't want Nintendo to innovate, because I do. I'm just saying a lot of their innovations have failed as a whole, especially in this series. What with Star Fox Adventures, Star Fox Command, and just the Wii U in general, really. Nintendo is not always the best at innovating. But if they don't innovate, then they might just become like Call of Duty and release the same game every year. But I don't know if you've noticed, Nintendo doesn't typically do that. They change and innovate all the time, and while a lot of what they've done are not necessarily decisions I agree with, I personally didn't like the lack of open world exploration and the simplicity and easiness in the recent Mario games, namely 3D World. Nintendo innovates, and sometimes they do it well. But there are Nintendo fans who constantly bitch and moan that Nintendo never innovates and always releases the same game like an Apple product, and then when they do innovate, they hate it and say, "Oh, what happened to good old Nintendo?" And they say, "This isn't my Nintendo," and then they post a cry face emoticon like a little Which do you want? Do you want Nintendo to just release the exact same game on a different console? Or do you want them to mix it up a little and try new things? Personally, what I want is Star Fox Zero, because it does both. This game successfully brings the traditional Star Fox gameplay we have been wanting for such a long time, like Star Fox 64 and Assault, and also innovates with many new things to do and places to explore, such as using the walker or the gyro wing. Star Fox Zero is the kind of game we have been wanting Nintendo to make for a long time, and here's why. They didn't re-release the same game for the billionth time, and they didn't completely innovate and rehaul either. And trust me, you don't want Nintendo to completely innovate, because when they do, they make this. The fuck is going on with you, Nintendo? Like, real talk, why would you do this to me? The series used to be so good at RPG, first two games. Alright, I'm done. The Paper Mario bitch complaining. But moving on with my point, there is a YouTuber named Arlo, yes, he's a blue Muppet, that doesn't mean he's unwise, who made an open letter video to Nintendo called The Problem with Paper Mario, addressing the outcry over Paper Mario Color Splash. In the end, he basically says that it's cool to innovate, and that he even loves it when Nintendo does that, but not when it throws away every good thing that the series is known and loved for. That is why Adventures and Command were such bad games. Because they didn't feel like a Star Fox game because they took out all the good stuff and replaced it with something we didn't expect nor want to buy. And that's exactly what Nintendo is currently doing with the new Paper Mario games. They're trying to innovate with a gimmick, and in the process, they threw away everything we loved about the franchise as if we didn't care about any of that stuff. It was completely unnecessary, like they didn't need to do that, but they did. And it was such a bad decision, but like, they just continue carrying on with it, as if like, they just don't give a shit about their fans. If they added the paint mechanic, and just kept the partner system and RPG system, plus actually gave the game a good story instead of half-assing one, like they did with Sticker Star, there wouldn't be a problem, and Color Splash wouldn't be as negatively viewed as it is now. Like, the actual paint mechanic is not the problem is that they threw away everything that Paper Mario used to be known and loved for. As Arlo said, we love it when Nintendo innovates, but not when it throws away everything the series is known for, and that right there is why Star Fox Zero was an amazing game. Nintendo hasn't stuck to what makes their game great and innovated in the same game for such a long time, and that's exactly what they did with Star Fox Zero. Before Zero, they've been either oversimplifying their new games, which trust me, they did not do with Star Fox Zero. The game's actually fairly challenging, if not just really hard at times. Or replacing them with dumb gimmicks, or just constantly re-releasing their old games, if anything. But this game, Star Fox Zero, is the first true, innovative, traditional, and great core franchise game Nintendo has released in such a long time. And if not just for my hopes that this great game is a wake-up call for Nintendo to give us what we, as their loyal fans and consumers, truly want, I give this game a 9 out of 10. If you like this review, please tell me in the comment section below and tell me how to improve if there's something you feel like I can improve on, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you did in fact enjoy this video, and that'll just about do it. Take care, everyone.